Take 5. Hey there. I finally designed my sketchbook cover, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So before this video begins, I just want to make not a disclaimer, but like a statement. That sounds so serious. Having an art style has kind of become a big deal in the art community. And I just want to say, this isn't revolutionary or anything, but all artists are different. And so all artists will need different things to enjoy doing art. So in this video, I'm organizing 3 styles for myself because lately I've been feeling like I was being put in a tiny box by myself. So some artists prefer to have no style at all, and that's perfectly fine. In my opinion, you don't have to have an art style. It doesn't really affect how I see someone's page, whether they have like a consistent style or not. It's cool to have a consistent art style, but it's also cool to not have a consistent art style and to just like experiment and have fun and do whatever you feel, basically. For me personally, I feel a lot more comfortable when I basically organize what I do. But for the past, I think like year or half year, I just didn't really have an idea of what I can or can't do. Like I would look at someone else's art and I'd be super inspired, but then I'd be like, oh no, but I do this, or like I can't do that. And I just realized how dumb that is because so many artists have more than one styles. Like Mark Curley, for example. He has a chibi style, a manga style, and a realism style. So in today's video, I'm gonna be trying to, I guess, take myself out of the tiny box that I put myself in and put myself in a bigger box because I like being in boxes. But that doesn't mean that you have to like being in boxes, or like all artists have to like being in boxes. Some artists don't like to care about this kind of stuff, and that's perfectly fine. So that was the point of this 2-minute intro. Hey, so this is Future Noor voiceovering while watching the recording now. And I just want to say, I learned so much from doing these 3 sketchbook spreads. And this first one especially was so relaxing and freeing in a really weird kind of way. I made sure to use only like one color for each spread. And I'm really glad I did that because I was able to just focus on sketching for fun instead of panicking about all the colors matching and that sort of stuff. I don't think I sketched so freely since I was at least like 12, 13 years old. It's been a while since I've just sketched random people for the sake of practice and not with some like other motive like fan art or creating a finished illustration or making everything look perfect. So the style on this page over here, or well, these 2 pages over here, is definitely my comfort style, and it required the least amount of like reference photo searching and overthinking, I guess. It was really easy to just fill the page with random faces. But yeah, this page was the least painful to make and also the funnest. It was a great start in my opinion. I felt really happy after it was done. My favorite sketch on this page has to be the girl with the beanie. I just really like how that one turned out. Also, for materials, I don't really show it for this first page, but I basically kept it really simple. I just used a random green Bic pen, the pen I usually use for all my drawings, which is like the Tombow black brush kind of pen thing. And I use a Tombow dual brush pen, which I recently got 12 pens of. They're kind of pricey, so I don't think I'm going to get more of them, but it was really fun to use, and it was an extremely bright green, which I absolutely love. Anyways, on to the next spread. So I kind of messed up, as you can see here, but that worked out to my advantage because I used Helloooo markers on the page and wasn't afraid of like the bleed through. And then I also used a blue Bic pen, the white gel pen, this Sharpie pen, and that same Tombow black pen. Also for the for the very thin Prismacolor pencil, I changed the color to aquamarine. I don't really suggest Prismacolor very thin pencils. They're kind of just like Crayola pencils, but more pricey. Anyways, this page was the hardest page for me. And I'm not trying to be negative. Definitely, I have an issue of being a little too negative, and I completely agree. It's wrong to be super critical of your art online. It just puts a lot of people down, and that's understandable, but definitely not trying to be negative. I'm just saying this is the style that I want to work on the most, and that I want to maybe make a little more realistic than it is at the moment. I just feel it's not super unique, and I do need to practice anatomy a bit more. So honestly, it's more of just like an anatomy skill level kind of thing. And it's really hard to balance what you want to stylize and what you want to make more realistic. So from a comment I read recently, these kind of stuff just come with practice and evolve over time. So it's nothing I could have fully developed in one sketchbook spread. And that's what I learned, honestly, through this experience. I didn't really create 3 art styles, and I'm glad that wasn't the goal, because that would have been disappointing. It's more like I organized and sketched out some different styles. And like some of the styles, like some of the drawings on this page, for example, they could easily be categorized as my cartoony style. Like they kind of all blend together. That's another thing I noticed. And I'm glad I experimented, because I feel like I have a much better idea of what I like, what I don't like, what I want to work on. And I would have never realized all these things if I didn't do these 3 sketchbook spreads. So I highly recommend doing this if you're curious, want to experiment a little more, that kind of stuff. So yeah, the lesson, like the main takeaway I took from the first page, the green page, was that I need to have fun and just loosen up and doodle a bit more, instead of like needing everything to be perfect in my sketchbook, which is impossible. And my main takeaway from the blue page was that, well, I can't really design an entire style in one sketchbook spread. That's kind of impossible. And I'm glad I realized it in this page, because I feel like that realization helped me enjoy doing the third sketchbook spread. Styles kind of just like evolve over time, and these 2 pages here helped push me further along, I guess, in that process. Anyways, this is the last spread, and I was really excited to do this spread because I used to do a lot of realism, but I never really did like surrealism, especially with human faces. Most of my realism stuff, it was like photo studies of plants and animals and like objects, like the Infinity Gauntlet. So this was definitely exciting for me, and I'm happy with how it turned out. I just kind of regret using Helloooo markers, because it ruined the theme of white with the color on top. Anyways, that's just me being picky, and a lot of people on the Instagram post for this page said they actually preferred the left side with the yellow. So I'm gonna stop complaining. I won't whine about that in this video. I already whined about it on my post. So yeah, anyways, drawing realistic faces was definitely fun. I was a bit out of practice, but like even so, I'm happy with how these turned out. My main takeaway from this spread over here, the yellow spread, was that honestly, sometimes it's beneficial to just do like quick studies. I'm so accustomed to making everything into a final illustration, which is why like I would draw something, not really on this page, on the other page that's coming up. I would draw something and I'd want to work on it more and fix things and like stress out about it. But then I'd remember, oh, I still have an entire page to finish. I still have like 5 more heads to draw. And so I'd like quicken it up and just finish it. I also learned that I love drawing eyebrows, and that black pen goes really awfully on yellow paint. It smudged quite a bit and it was almost like slippery. But yeah, the second page was really fun for me. I used Prismacolor Premiere pencils for the lining. I think I forgot to mention that on the previous one as well. I used some Premiere colored pencils instead of inking with black, because the black was too contrasted. But yeah, I just kind of filled it up with expressions and stuff. The girl in the middle of the page looks like she's extremely sleep deprived because the pen smudged on the colored pencil, making it like black around her eyes. It's okay. I mean, sleep deprivation is real. It exists. Most of these faces, by the way, are just combinations of several faces on Pinterest. Sometimes I'd stick to one reference photo, but most of the time I just combine like 3 faces together. Honestly, I feel like this is as realistic as I can get comfortably while drawing several faces in one video. It was hard because I had to fill out like 6 pages in my sketchbook. I'm really glad I did it, but I'm also excited that it's over and I can finally do something a little more polished, I guess. And like something I could spend a little more time focusing on, like anatomy and stuff like that. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this far, and thank you all so much for 9.5 thousand as I'm recording this. It's honestly so crazy, and I really appreciate all the support. I really want to do a special video for when we eventually reach 10K. I don't know when I could do such a video, but if you have any ideas of what it could be, anything like you're curious about seeing kind of thing, I can't speak English. I was thinking of doing a drawing request kind of video where I draw all your requests in one sketchbook spread. Another idea I had was to just do a more simple kind of video, like a meet the artist kind of thing, even though I really hate talking about myself. I'm open to suggestions though, so let me know what you would like to see down in the comments, and I'll end this video before I keep rambling. I'll see you in the next video next week or the week after. Bye!